Magandang hapon, everyone! Welcome to LasalyaKnows Podcast. Ako nga po pala si Lorenzo Buenafe.
At ako naman si Rosa Landitro mula sa STEM 12G.
Alam mo, Rosa, kailan na dumaan yung Holy Week? Kamusta naman? Ano bang mga pinagagawa mo ng panahon niya?
Nako, nung Holy Week, nagsimba ako, syempre, para sa Paschal Triduum. And hindi nga ako masyadong nakapag-cellphone nung mga panahong iyon kasi kailangan daw talaga ma-feel yung essence ng Holy Week.
Buti naman, Rosa, at least tapos na yung Holy Week at nakagamit na tayo na cellphone. Ngayon, dahil doon meron tayong pag-asa na matuloy yung podcast at actually natuloy na. So, para nga pala sa mga manonood ngayon, yung podcast natin, simple lang po naman, pag-uusapan natin yung ADT x HUMSS Month. So, kaya ngayon, meron tayong mga iba't ibang guest mula sa ADT at HUMSS. O ngayon, i-explain lang sa atin, ano nga ba yung nangyari, ano ba yung naging proseso, ano ba yung mga suliranin na dinaanan nila, and ano ba mga natutunan nila, at iba't iba pang mga personal experience na maaari nilang ibahagi sa atin. So, ayun nga, Rosa, sino ba ang mga guest natin?
Gaya nga ng nasabi mo, Bu, may mga bisita tayo, no, or guest mula sa ADT at HUMSS. Sa ADT, may dancer and strand representative tayo na si Bernice. May visual artist rin gaya ni Micaela. Sa HUMSS naman, kasama natin ang kanilang strand representatives na sina Julian at Rafael. So ngayon, sa ating mga guests, mari ba kayong magpakilala ng kaunti sa ating mga audience? So syempre, sisimulan natin yan sa ating 119 representatives na si Bernice and Julian. So Bernice, would you like to go first?
Sure. Hello everyone, my name is Bernice Ignacio and yun nga nasabi nila Buenafe, I'm taking dance in ADT, and actually when I was in junior high, I wasn't actually dancing more. I'm more on cheerleading nung junior high. So this year, nung grade 11 lang talaga ako, like nag-start talaga ng formal education with dance, and it's been going really great naman.
Yan. Thank you so much, Bernice, and sana mag-foster yung career mo or yung passion mo sa dancing. And now, si Julian naman. Ikaw, Julian.
Hello everyone, I'm Julian Manala. I'm from HUMSS 12B and I'm the grade 12 strand representative for the HUMSS strand. So ayun, unlike sa ADT, wala kami masyadong specializations sa HUMSS. Parang broad talaga yung pinag-aaralan, which is exactly why then napili ko yung HUMSS kasi it's a very interesting strand talaga. Tsaka bet ko yung mga subjects kasi ako good sa math. Pero ayun, I am happy to be here and I'm happy to be here.
Yan, we're happy that you're here also, Julian. Ako, thank you sa ating mga 119 strand representatives. And syempre, hindi magpapatalo ang ating mga 120 na si Micaela and Rafael. So, ipakilala nyo naman ang iyong mga sarili. Let's start with Micaela.
Hello, I'm Micaela Rabaca from ADT 11A, and you can just call me Mika. And I wasn't really considered like the art kid dati, pero pagkatapos nung grade 10 ko, I realized na art was my passion, and I really wanted to become an architect or a graphic designer, so I chose ADT na lang.
Yan, thank you so much, Micaela. And now, last but not the least, we have Rafael.
Hi everyone, I'm Rafael Rodriguez, but you may call me Rafi. I'm the grade 11 HUMSS representative, and wala naman masyadong interesting sa sarili ko, wala naman akong fun fact, pero siguro one thing or one fact I could say about myself is that I have an undying love for sinigang na buto-buto. Yun lang, and I hope that we can learn a lot from this podcast.
Alrighty, thank you sa lahat ng mga nagpakilala ngayon. And para dito sa mga dadaan na tanong, gusto ko muna simulan sa ating mga representatives na si Bernice and Julian. So, Bernice and Julian, ADT and HUMSS. Gusto ko muna ilarawan nyo sa amin para sa mga hindi nakakaalam. Ano ba yung ADT and HUMSS? Sige, start natin sa iyo, Bernice. What is ADT?
ADT as in the track, Do you want me to explain ba kung ano like yung
yeah.
ADT mismo? Sige.
Yeah,
Siguro for me,
yeah.
ADT is more on a community since onti nga lang 'di ba yung population natin. Parang mas close-knitted tayo sa isa't isa, mas kakilala natin yung mga 120, ganyan, yung 118, yung first batch ng ADT ever in DLSU. I can say now we're more, yun nga, mas madali na makipag-connect with your teachers, with your lower batchmates, ganun. Kaya it feels more like a family para sa akin. Parang ang daling makipag-collaborate with people in ADT.
Alright, thank you, Bernice. And Bernice, na-mention mo pala na dance ka. So, ngayon na na-mention mo yun, bilang isa ADT student rin, meron tayong tinatawag na specialization. So, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng mga specialization na to? And why do you think you chose dance as well?
Yung mga specialization classes sa ADT, I think it's there for a reason na para mas maging focus tayo sa pag-develop ng kung ano man meron tayo. Like, kanyari ikaw sa theater, di ba? At least doon mas focus yung curriculum sa passion na gusto mo. And pinili ko yung dance kasi hilig ko talagang mag-perform eh. Hilig kong gumalaw kasi nga I've been doing cheerleading for 4 years. And yun, naibigan ko na rin yung pagsasayaw ng mga contemporary dance and everything, jazz. Actually, this summer nga mas nagiging more explorative ako sa mga iba't ibang style. Like, nahiligan ko na rin yung pagsayaw ng hip-hop, ganyan. There's also, I also chose dance for ADT kasi it's a good foundation. It's a good foundation for dance kasi una muna, like, tinatakil muna namin yung parang history of like ballet, and then hanggang sa mas maging modernized siya na parang contempt to hip-hop and yung kung anong meron tayo ngayon. Kaya ayun, I think the specialized classes in ADT are a good way na parang to show foundations then like with visual arts then, music, and all the other streams.
Thank you very much, Bernice. Now, Julian, let's move on to HUMSS. Ano ba ang HUMSS para sa mga ating di nakakaalam? And yes, explain to us what it means and what more can we learn from it.
Okay, so yung sa HUMSS naman, it stands for Humanities and Social Science. And actually, a fun fact about the word HUMSS itself, malaki yung debate around the actual pronunciation of it. I don't know if aware din yung ibang mga HUMSS people ko, pero like, yung iba tinatawag siya na HUMSS, iba naman HUMSS. And actually, up until this day, sinasabi pa rin na yung tama talaga is HUMSS kasi because of certain yung kapag daw double SS, something, parang may term siya, pero I forgot na. Pero yung magbigkas ko pa rin is HUMSS kasi humanities. Pero feeling ko mali siya. Pero that's okay. We can move past that. Pero yung sa HUMSS naman, it's a strand that's more catered on writing and a lot of reading, as in a lot of reading talaga. Parang kumbaga nung grade 11, sobrang bibigat ng mga pinapabasa sa amin. Pero di naman, not to complain naman kasi na-enjoy ko rin naman siya. And I think HUMSS, compared din sa parang iniisip ng iba na parang panay sulat lang yan, panay basa lang, di rin naman talaga siya panay yun lang. Kasi I know a lot of HUMSS people, HUMSS students, sa sobrang diverse din, na hindi lang sila naka-centered talaga sa panunulat or sa pagbabasa or sa pagbibigkas. Talagang the strand of HUMSS itself speaks a lot and is very diverse. It's filled with a lot of different people. And I think that's what makes HUMSS special kasi hindi lang talaga siya catered to one thing. Kasi I know a lot of HUMSS students who are also talented in visual arts, digital arts, math, science. Kaya parang minsan nga I get surprised kasi iniisip ko, bakit sila nila sa HUMSS ang galing yung mag-math, ang galing yung mag-science, gano'n. Pero I think it goes to show talaga how diverse the strand itself is kasi hindi lang naman talaga centered lang siya on just this one aspect. I think it also encompasses a lot of other things and I think applicable din talaga siya sa lahat ng strands. So I think HUMSS is a really great strand and it's able to go beyond what we expect of it.
Thank you very much, Julian. Ngayon, I'd like to ask these questions for all our 4 guests here. So, ngayon na na-mention nila, ano ibig sabihin na strand nila? gusto ko naman malaman why did you choose your strand, and ano rin ba yung bilang isang representative, how is the experience like? Ano yung mga pros and cons bilang isang representative, things that you can improve on, and so forth. We could start with 120. So, Micaela, would you like to share your experience?
Okay, so like I said naman kanina, I chose ADT kasi for a while parang nagka-crisis ako sa buhay ko. Parang hindi ko talaga kasi alam kung saan ako malulugar. Like, I really didn't know what I was going with direction. Like, I wasn't particularly good in math and science, and I wasn't the best in writing either. Pero I realized na art and design was something that I had like it's like a hidden secret weapon, parang ganun. And I decided na maybe it's time that I use the hidden talent of mine for something that I really like. And with that, parang so much has happened even just this 1 year, kahit online lang. Being a representative for arts and design has been incredible. Like, I get to meet so much people, like not just my fellow strandmates, but I also meet the people in SC, and I also meet people from other strands through like the student committee. And that's like one big pro for me is like you get to meet so much people and you hear so many stories, and you get to encounter so many personalities, and it's fun and it's refreshing because in the pandemic ang hirap nga magka-friends ngayon and like hang out, but being a representative you get to encounter so much people. And a con na lang would probably be like the workload because as a student and as a student leader you have to juggle academics and you also have to juggle the extracurricular stuff that you have. So yun lang naman for me.
Thank you, Micaela. Now, na-curious ako sa sinabi mo, Mika. Na earlier nga, napag-usapan natin, you had a crisis between what should I choose? Should I choose ADT or should it be something else? Now, gusto ko matanong sa'yo, ano kaya yung, if you want to share lang naman, what is like yung personal experience mo? Ano ba yung parang yung isang moment sa buhay mo na sinabi mo, okay, sige, ADT na talaga ako? Ayun.
While I was applying for LaSalle, yung last step na lang doon ata, yung pipili ka nung stand mo, you have the two options. So, iniwan ko lang siyang bukas for a while. And I went to school and that day was arts and music class. Kasi once a week lang yun. And that time, we were trying to do graphic design. And I did something, like, I took a risk because I wasn't really, like, well-versed in graphic design. And my teacher, like, came up to me and they were like, this is a really interesting thing that you did, and are you good at, like, Photoshop and Illustrator? And I was like, oh no, I just, like, thought of it. And then my teacher was like, you have a talent for it and you should try developing. And I think that moment, parang nalam ko na, I was like, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with arts and design. So, yeah.
Thank you, Mika. Now, ako...
Partner, naka-mute ka po ata.
Ay, thank you, partner.
Partner, na-mute.
Nag-mute bigla eh. Sige lang. Ayun yan. So yun, Mika, thank you. Ayun, pasensya na sa pag-mute bigla, technical difficulties lang. Ayun, yung sinasabi ko kanina, gusto ko lang i-share yung nangyari rin sa akin nung nag-apply ako sa LaSalle. Plano ko talaga HUMSS. Pero, yun nga, nagkaroon na ako nung crisis tulad mo na ano ba talaga, parang gusto ko gawin talaga. Ang hirap pumili pag ganyan eh, kasi meron yung sa ano ng parents mo, ano bang gusto nila para sa'yo, and anong gusto mo para sa sarili mo. So sabi ko, sige, let's take a risk then. So, I admire that. Gusto ko yung ginawa mo na, sige, tuloy na natin itong ADT. And I'd wish to share more, pero gusto ko rin pamalaman yung kay Elle naman. So, Elle, same question. Why did you choose HUMSS, and what is it like being a representative for HUMSS? Sorry, Rafi pala, no? Rafi. Kasi I have a friend named Rafael and I call her El. So Rafi, sorry, yeah. So let's go, Rafi.
Okay, magkakwento lang din ako ng onte. Actually, I was not supposed to enroll in LaSalle talaga. So, dapat nasa yellow school ako. But due to COVID and all of the circumstances, I chose LaSalle. Hindi naman second option ng LaSalle, pero like, alam niyo, dream school ko pa rin naman, but it didn't carry the course I wanted, which was a course related to medicine. So, a lot of people ask me if they know what my dream is and why am I in HUMSS, kung ganun yung pangarap ko maging doktor. So, I always say this. Even though tinatakasan ko talaga ang math, like what other HUMSS students may say, for me kasi, I believe that substance should always come over form. And even though you are a doctor and you're kung yung pangarap mo maging doctor or something related to science, para sa akin, gusto kong mahubog muna yung sarili ko. Gusto ko munang lumubog dun sa mga taong pagsasabisyuhan ko sa future. Kung maging doktor man ako, kung papalarin, gusto ko munang malaman. Kumbaga, I want to immerse myself with the problems of society before I become part of the society solution. And I believe na sa HUMSS kasi, some people think like, ayun nga sabi ni Ate Ju, puro sulat, puro essay, puro sulat, puro readings. But I believe that HUMSS is more than that. HUMSS gives people their soul more than their form. HUMSS makes people have substance. And being a HUMSS rep, aside sa, yun nga, hindi ka lang estudyante leader ka. So, aside sa pressure na napuput up sa akin kasi my goal as a leader is not to just lead, but to inspire others to become a leader as well. Aside sa pressure ng ganon, I think that one of the things I face as a HUMSS rep is that I have to, or hindi naman have, but I constantly aspire to influence other HUMSS students, especially that some of them don't really like you. So, one of my goals that my entire term and entire stay as a HUMSS student is that I should aspire my fellow HUMSS students to, kumbaga, lalong lumubog sa hindi lang sa problema ng society na normally mo makikita sa social media, but be more active, be more substantial when it comes to being open sa realidad ng lipunan na higit lang sa nakikita ng media, higit lang sa nakikita mo sa Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, ganyan. But be the person who sees it firsthand para mas ma-impluwensyahan mo yung iba. And I guess that is what I would summarize being a rep as, more than, completing proposals. But ayun, it is to have substance and influence others to have substance as well.
Thank you very much, Rafi. Ngayon naman, same question. Gusto ko i-move naman sa ating 119 students. We can start with Bernice. So, Bernice, why did you choose ADT? And specifically, ba't ka nag-dance rin? And how was it like being a representative?
Hello. Okay, I chose ADT because, like, yun nga, as I've mentioned, actually, magkukwenta lang din siguro muna ako una. Actually, ADT wasn't my first choice. Like, I wanted to go to STEM back nung nasa junior high pa ako. Parang gusto ko muna mag-STEM. Tapos, parang sabi ko, ba't parang ini-invalidate ko yung sarili ko? Gusto ko naman talagang sumayaw. And I think siguro yung invalidation na yun, nakukuha ko rin kasi like, yung mga pressures from parents, ganyan, na parang, magda-dance ka, anong mapapala mo? Parang mga ganon, mga cliche na sinasabi. Tapos, yeah, ayun. So sabi ko, sa tingin ko parang gusto ko talaga mag-ADT talaga. Gusto kong yung dance. I mean, no, actually, I didn't know there was dance in ADT. Like, parang nakahiligan ko kasi nung grade 10 na parang mag-drawing and like visuals. Nung grade 10 lang talaga. So parang sabi ko, parang gusto ko ituloy ito sa ADT. Tapos parang nung nakita ko na yung syllabus ng ADT na may dance, sabi ko, oh my God, ito na yung chance ko. May dance pala dito. Bakit? Parang hindi ko alam when I was enrolling for DLSU, hindi ko alam na may dance pala. So, ayun, mas lalo akong napaibig sa ADT kasi andun pala yung passion ko talaga na hindi lang, biglaan, like yung drawing ko and like sketching. Andun talaga yung performance, gusto ko talaga yun. Kaya, ayun, tinuloy ko na talaga yung ADT. Parang, mas lalo akong na-immerse rin sa mga iba't ibang klaseng tao, sa mga exposure trip, ganun. And also like, yun nga, building connections. It's easy to build connections with people from ADT. Lalo na kasi like yung mga sections, iba-iba naman kami ng streams. Yung streams kasi, ito yung parang sub-strand sa loob ng ADT. Bale, sa ADT may iba't ibang stream. So, yun nga, yung may visual arts, multimedia, tapos dance, theater, creative writing, music, and ayun, yun yung mga streams, mga specific na courses for you. Tapos, ayun, it's a diverse group of people in one section, and marami kang matututunan sa mga kaklase mo, marami ka ring pwedeng possible networks in the future. Kanyari, kailangan ko ng help sa promotional team, pwede kong i-chat yung kaklase ko from before, ganun. It's easy to collaborate with them kasi yun nga, laging willing silang tumulong. And ayun, I chose dance kasi yun nga, it's my passion talaga, and I wanted to explore more what dance can offer kasi I never really parang wala akong masyadong alam with dance. Like alam ko lang mag-perform, pero like yung history, ganyan, yung kung saan ba nanggaling, kung paano nagsimula, ayun. And yung lalo na yung dance dito sa Philippines, like yung mga national artists natin sa dance, nung grade 11 ko lang sila nalaman nang mas malalim, mas malaliman ko silang nalalaman dahil part siya ng syllabus ng grade 11 sa dance. Kaya it's a really great opportunity, being in ADT, kasi not only na yun nga, focus ka sa strand mo, pero you get to learn then from your classmates, from your peers in ADT. And being the ADT rep, it has been really fulfilling, pero it's also been challenging kasi lalo na sa time natin ngayon na online tayo. Mahirap makipagkausap sa mga people kasi syempre you always have to be like understanding and careful kasi mamaya pala busy pala yung tao na to, mamaya pala may pinagdadaanan, kaya dapat lagi tayo understanding pag nakikipag-collaborate with other people, lalo na sa panahon natin ngayon. So I think that's been a challenge, yun nga, of trying to reach out to people, but it's been fulfilling kasi ako kasi like kami ni Mika nung nagpe-prepare kami sa HUMSS ADT Month, parang nahihiya kami to ask help from our strandmates. Kaya parang nung nakita namin na willing sila, na sumagot sila dun sa forms namin para sa paggawa ng ADT Central Committee, nung nakita namin na willing sila, parang sobrang saya namin ni Mika na parang ang cool, pala sila, willing pala sila to help, ganyan. Tapos parang dun namin mas lalo na feel na grabe, ang sarap maging ADT rep, parang ganun. Kasi ang dami mo nga nakikilala, para din nung sabi ni Mika, dun sa student committee, ang dami mo nakikilala. And actually being ADT rep, ang dami ko ring natutunan from student council sa like pag-organize ng mga files, ganyan. And I can say talaga na lahat ng natutunan ko being ADT rep so far, right now, na-apply ko siya sa schools, sa outside work, ganyan, sa thesis, ganyan. And yeah, it's been really fulfilling being a ADT rep.
Thank you very much, Bernice. Yan, same rin para kay Julian. Sa HUMSS, why did you choose HUMSS, and how is it like being a representative for HUMSS? And
Okay, backstory lang din. Growing up, di talaga ako yung type ng student na magaling sa math. Compared to my cousins, tapos yung tatay ko na talagang Einstein talaga, na sobrang bilis mag-churn out ng numbers, tsaka mag-solve. Kaya growing up, very insecure ako about that kasi akala ko na parang hindi ako part of the family kasi hindi ako as great as them in math or science. Pero growing up, I also realized na meron pala akong hidden weapon, kumbaga. Kasi growing up din, doon din nag-grow yung pagmamahal ko sa pagsusulat, tsaka sa pagbabasa. So, parang nung time na yon na feeling ko na hindi ako parte ng family kasi talagang insecure talaga ako. Pero nung time nga na yun, sumandal ako sa mga libro ko kasi mahilig talaga ako magbasa noon. Tapos, mas nahiligan ko yung pagsusulat, tsaka yung pagiging into literature lang talaga as a whole. Doon talaga ako sumanib, kumbaga, kasi parang naisip ko, ay, di talaga ako magaling sa math. Okay, tanggap ko na. Pero dito ako malakas sa pagbabasa at sa pagsusulat. Tapos, parang di naman talaga siya nakakukuha. No strand best suits me other than HUMSS, kumbaga. Like, yun yung talaga yung pagkakaintindi ko sa sarili ko na dito talaga ako, I meant to be here, kumbaga, sa HUMSS. Tapos, yun yung backstory ko, ba't ako nasa HUMSS ngayon. Pero, nung running for HUMSS rep last year, di ko talaga siya hindi ko na foresee na ipupush ko talaga siya kasi nung first time pa lang nung early 2019, nung first round of yung mga grade 11 HUMSS rep, inisip ko na rin na tumakbo na baka balik kakalabanin ko si Jason. Pero naisip ko feeling ko hindi ko pa kaya kasi hindi ko pa gamay yung Lasal. Hindi ko pa alam kung gaano kabigat yung ibibigay sa akin na workload. Tsaka yung pagka-push ako sa sarili ko, alam ko talaga na hindi ko pa kakayanan. I can't give my best pa for the student body if tumakbo ko agad-agad. So, after nun, nung inisip ko na lang, siguro sa grade 12 na lang. Pero nung grade 12 naman, dun ako, nag-flow into na naman yung mga insecurities ko kasi inisip ko, grabe, such big shoes to fill. Kumbaga, kasi nung sa grade 12 rep ng last year, si Kuya Carwin, sobrang idol ko siya for a lot of reasons. Kasi talagang talino niya, tapos ang outspoken niya. Tsaka, siya din yung nag-invite sa akin hindi man nag-invite sa akin, parang nagturo sa akin ng a lot of other things. So, ayun, parang inisip ko, ang laki naman ng shoes na i-fill ko, kaya naging insecure ako. Pero inisip ko na alam ko rin naman sa sarili ko na insecurities ko lang to. So, parang kumbaga, na-overcome ko siya, thankfully. Tapos ito ako ngayon as your HUMSS rep. And sa pros naman of being a HUMSS rep, yung same lang din halos sa lahat ng mga peers ko na parang I get to meet a lot of people, I get to hone a lot of other skills. Like, grabe, ngayong year ko lang natutunan kung paano gumamit ng spreadsheet, kung paano magpagana ng Excel, which is nakakahiya, pero yun yung totoo. Ngayon ko lang talaga naiintindihan kung paano gumamit ng mga cells, mga equations doon. Pero above all that, I think the best part pa rin of being a HUMSS rep is that you're able to become the bridge of the students to the admin. And kasi parang in a time like this na nakadestino na lang tayo sa houses natin. Parang it's harder talaga. It's harder to feel na someone out there cares for you, or that you have this representative to bring your calls, kumbaga. So, yung best part pa rin of being a HUMSS rep is being able to represent the student body for me. And I concede naman na it's possible na hindi ko, na parang we won't always meet eye to eye with the student body. Pero at the very least pa rin, dapat as student reps, we are still willing to meet with them eye to eye and to know kung ano ba talaga yung mga hinaing nila or yung current state nila. Kasi yun din naman yung obligation natin as a rep. And I think that's one of the best things about being a representative. Yung con lang talaga ay mga sleepless nights, gano'n. Mga sleepless nights, tapos yung mga times na sobrang tagal namin nagpa-plan or nag-uusap, gano'n. Pero I think it really comes with the job. I don't really see it as a con din kasi mahilig din ako sa mga org work. Mas gusto ko talaga yung org work kaysa sa ACAD. So, mga BS org dyan. Pero yun, though con talaga siya, sometimes kasi it goes overboard talaga na parang, grabe, parang nakaka-burnout na. Pero, at least, kapag nagkakaroon ng mga inch of burnout, ganon, parang itry mo pa rin na balikan kung bakit ka nandyan. So, I don't really see it pa rin as a major con. Parang talagang it's a burden you have to break. Ayan.
So, ayan, no? Nakakatuwa naman malaman yung mga stories nyo kung paano kayo napunta sa inyong mga strands. At, if I may add, no, nakaka-inspire talaga, sa totoo lang na, kasi kayo, 'di ba? Not all of you here except si Julian, 'di ba? Nabanggit niya na simula nung grade 7 parang alam na niya sa sarili niya na HUMSS talaga yung para sa kanya. But like Mika, Bernice, and si Rafi, 'di ba? Gusto niya mag-med pero nasa HUMSS siya. Yun yung parang laging sinasabi sa kanya. Na it's great to see your respective strands to be led by people who are risk takers. 'Di ba? Na at the end of the day, it doesn't matter rin naman kung ano yung sinasabi ng iba because you're doing it for you You're doing it for your own happiness and kayo naman yung magfo-foster ng mga talents and passions nyo. And in relation to this, yung ADT x HUMSS month was a month for you guys to show yung mga passion nyo nga and everything about your strands. So, if I may ask, ano ba yung mga naging process ng pag-prepare nyo and ano yung mga suliranin na hinarap nyo? So siguro let's start with sa 120, Rafi.
Mahaba-habang kwento to. Pero technical wise, syempre we have to prepare the paperwork, yung mga requirements na kailangan, but I think I won't focus on that. Siguro I'll focus on the more important and overlooked aspect of preparation. And it is the mental, emotional, social, spiritual, psychological preparation. Siguro kasi iniisip ng iba na when you prepare a program, when you prepare something, it's just a matter of you make a proposal, contact the speaker, pag hindi, maghanap ka ng backup, pagkatapos nun, hanap ka ng host, in-train mo, execute, gawa ka ng post-program, tapos. But, kasi, as a first-time officer na mag-prepare ng ganito, I think, mas lumala, or mas nahirapan ako dun sa pag-prepare ko emotionally and socially. Kasi as a introverted person, hindi talaga ako makwento sa iba. I mean, pinadala ko, but like, hindi ako yung tipong, hindi ako yung kayang mag-utos sa iba. Like what Ate Bern said, yung tipong nahihiya din ako mag-approach sa iba na if may kailangan ako, I'm not really the person na, oh, can you help me with this? As much as possible, I would by myself. Pag hindi, edi doon. But I had to prepare to open myself to not only build camaraderie, but also engage in camaraderie with others. I have to make myself look at least prepared kahit paano. Para at least kapag humarap ako sa tao, hindi ako blankong tao na alang sabihin. And aside from that, I also have to prepare myself psychologically. I must admit, as a first-timer, marami akong pagkakamaling nagawa. I know that siguro kung wala yung mga fellow stranders ko dito, sobrang sabog ng mga project ko. But, with them, with their help, and with the support of my strandmates, with the support of the council, the STUCOM, the HUMSS Central Committee, yung ka-anib, and everyone who made my projects a reality, I think na yung preparation na yon was made a lot easier. And the whole HUMSS month, kahit sinasabi ng iba, hindi nila naramdaman, or like, it just flew by, kasi like, time is really fast. One of the preparations na I must admit, hindi ko na paghandaan is to let it go flawlessly. Hanggang ngayon, may hangover pa din ako sa HUMSS month and ADT month. So, ayun. Siguro, one of the preparations talaga na medyo nahirapan ako is yung preparation for myself. So, ayun lang.
Naku, yan nga ang napapansin ko na ang madalas nakikita ng mga tao sa leaders ay yung facade lang, di ba? Yung confident, yung very outspoken, pero hindi nila nakikita yung self-preparations na ginagawa ng mga student leaders natin, di ba? Parang it takes a lot, kaya it takes so much confidence to talk in front of a crowd and to, in our parang situation ngayon, to reach out to people, di ba? Parang syempre, may hiya ka pa rin ng slide, pero dahil nga ikaw yung leader, ikaw yung parang driver ng event na ito, kailangan mo talaga i-push through. So ayun, thank you so much, Rafi. How about you, Mika? Ano ang naging preparations mo? And if possible, ano yung mga, kung pwede ka mag-share ng mga problems na pinagdaanan mo?
Okay, so short background lang kasi dapat yung ADT and HUMSS separate yun. And Ate Burns and I were preparing it so that it was like just ADT Month. Pero, due to time constraints and technical stuff, kailangan na namin mag-merge. So, honestly, nung kami pa ni Ate Bernice, parang natakot ako kasi she's been in SC longer than I was. Kahit like a couple months lang, pero at least medyo adjusted na siya. Nung nagpe-prepare na kami, kaka-elect lang sa akin. So, parang they just threw me into it. I was like scared na baka mapahiya ako yung ADT or hindi talaga ako magaling. Pero, when it got to the point na we were getting serious about like the proposals and the technical stuff, tapos we had to talk to Ate Julian and Rafi na for all of the events, I started getting a little bit more relaxed kasi I was like, okay, maybe I'm not the only one that's having a hard time here. And parang we were all in it together na yung preparedness namin wasn't, I would say definitely na kailangan namin mag-improve, but it was pretty good considering the circumstances and lahat ng ginawa namin over the past month. And personally, the hardest part of the preparation was, like Rafi said, the like emotional and social part of it. Because I consider myself an extrovert, pero like ever since the pandemic, parang nahirapan na ako mag-socialize with people and like, be the leader that I could best be. But with the help of sina Ate Brins and Ate Rafi, I was able to like at least get a grasp of like what's happening and what I need to do, and I was able to do things properly. Minsan may mistakes din ako nagagawa, minsan nawawala din ako, pero I try my best to get back on it kasi I have to remember na I'm not just doing this, for the requirement. I'm doing this for a whole strand, and I'm doing this for other people and not just me and the representatives, because yun ang root ng leadership sa LaSalle for me, that you're not doing anything alone. You're supposed to do it with a lot of people. That's one of the LaSallian values, is yung communion and mission ata. Like with that value, parang the root, like I was grounded by that value in a sense na I have to really understand that whatever hardship I'm going through, it's okay, because in the end it's gonna be worth it, because a lot of other people will benefit from it. And that's the best part of it, like the preparation of the Art and Design HUMSS month, is that no matter yung pinaghirapan namin, yung technicals or whatever, at least in the end, we knew that our constituents and our strandmates and our friends had fun, and it may not have lasted as long as I thought it was going to last, but at least it was flushed out and it was a success. So yun lang.
Ayan nga, I agree when you said na ang hirap talaga mag-socialize. Like, lalo na ngayon, everything is virtual. Hindi mo alam kung natutuwa pa ba sa'yo yung kausap mo, di ba? Hindi mo makita yung facial expressions nila. Pero I'm glad na you overcame this problem through camaraderie, di ba? Yan lang naman talaga, kailangan lang talaga natin magtulong-tulungan. And ikaw, Julian, ano bang naging preparations mo sa HUMSS X ADT Month?
So, yung sa HUMSS Month actually, since yung sabi nga ni Mika na dapat hiwalay talaga siya. So, medyo, kasi yung HUMSS Month dapat later pa siya than March. Yung initial na namin. Actually, March siya, pero parang may February pa dapat na for ADT. So naisip namin, so parang nung nag-chika kami ni Rafi, kasi madalas kapag nag-meet kami, chika-chika lang. So parang pa-chill-chill pa kami, inip namin, sige, okay lang yan. Matagal pa yung time namin. Tapos biglang, oh my gosh, ito na pala, like mag-merge na tayo, tapos ang haba niya na proseso. Tapos siguro, mga 3 months kami nagpe-prepare, nagko-conceptualize, nag-invite ng speakers, yung mga paperwork na talaga. Talagang 3 months talaga siya. Pero, yung in terms of inner preparation, talagang kailangan talaga namin mag-work with immense stress and pressure, kumbaga, kasi talagang hindi talaga siya an easy thing to do, kasi marami talagang times na parang you'll feel na parang napapagod ka na or burnt, or talagang natural talaga na ma-burnout ka. Lalo na if tuloy-tuloy ka nagtatrabaho, tapos sobrang daming sleepless nights, tapos talagang repetitive na yung work mo to the point na napapagod ka na. Kunwari, nag-invite ka ng speaker, tapos di siya nag-reply, tapos mag-invite ka na naman, di na naman nag-reply. Talagang repetitive talaga siya minsan. Kaya yung mga repetitive tasks na yun, parang minsan dun nag-start yung burnout eh. Pero, aside from that, parang nung iniisip namin ni Rafi, yung isang naging malaking problem namin, which is yung sa HUMSS Central Committee, yun yung parang major problem namin kasi nahihirapan kami kumuha ng mga volunteers. So, iniisip namin, oh my gosh, hindi namin alam gagawin namin. Kasi, yun nga, yung HUMSS din yung bali papatakbo ng buong buwan eh, kasi sila yung magiging manpower, kumbaga. Tapos inisip namin, anong gagawin namin? So talagang on the brink of crying, breaking down, gano'n. Pero thankfully naman, nag-pull through yung maraming mga students kasi talagang na-approach namin sila. Like, napakita namin na talagang need talaga namin ng students na willing na gumaod para sa month na to, kasi hindi rin namin kakayanin na kami lang. So very thankful ako na at least na alam namin na HUMSS has got our backs, kumbaga, kasi yun nga, willing sila na tulungan kami. Pero above all that, talagang sobrang emotionally taxing talaga niya, kasi hindi talaga siya yung tipong, sige, meron akong idea, tapos i-execute ko siya, tapos I will do it perfectly. Hindi siya talaga ganun. There will be a lot of times na kami mismong reps yung mag-mess up, kami yung magkakaroon ng mga mistakes, ganun. Tapos, or kaya meron kami ma-overlook na thing, talagang very common talaga siya. And I think yun yung isang mga pinaka-stressful things, kasi as a rep, parang we put ourselves on this thinking na dapat perfect yung execution namin, which is hindi naman talaga needed. Kumbaga, siguro the best thing that we can do talaga is to prepare ourselves mentally for the resolutions that we need to have in case plan A doesn't work. In case na plan B also doesn't work. What happens after those plans, after all of your plans failed? So, ayun, yun talaga yung parang yung parang skill na nahasa ko, kumbaga, sa month na nakaraan. Kasi ako rin yung tipong tao noon na parang kapag nagkamali ako, maka-frustrate ako, tapos suko na, gano'n. So, hindi naman talaga dapat gano'n. Dapat even after you make mistakes, you're still ready to work harder to be able to avoid those mistakes next time.
Ayun, napakaganda ng preparation mo, Julia, no? Kasi in life naman, di ba, no matter how much we plan, laging may mangyayaring hindi natin inaasahan. Kaya as leaders, saludo talaga ako sa inyo na lagi kayong prepared, no? Kahit hindi man namin nakikita yung struggles nyo, kung paano nyo iniibsan yung problema. Pero the fact na sobrang quick nyo mag-isip, and alam nyo yun, yung lagi kayong on your feet na parang sobrang okay, laban tayo, okay lang yan. Parang sobrang nakaka-inspire and nakaka-proud na kabatch ko kayo, di ba? And grabe, same age tayo, pero ganyan na yung mga mentalities nyo. So, ayun, last but not the least, Bernice, how did you prepare for this event?
Okay, so, balik muna tayo ng a few months, siguro around, the month na I was elected, I think October or September. Basta mga around those months, kinausap na kasi kagad ako ni Miss L. Si Miss L, she's our moderator sa SC and she's also a faculty sa ADT. So, syempre, kinausap niya ako, sabi niya na, uy, yung natin, ADT Month natin, pagplanuhan na natin para di na tayo mahirapan. Tapos, ayun, she asked me if kaya ba na by November kagad may plano na for ADT Month. Ito pa yung time na hindi pa nag-merge yung HUMSS tsaka ADT. So, parang, I'm also a first-time officer kasi na, like, in my previous schools, I wasn't really part of a student council. So, ayun, it was really my first time experiencing all of these, being part of the council. So, parang, when I was elected, so, na-overwhelm ako. May feelings of being overwhelmed with the people, na like, yung mga previous student council members na parang, nahihiya ako, mag-approach na parang, hey guys, anong gagawin natin? Parang ganun. Like, I didn't know how to start a project proposal. Kaya parang most of the time si Miss L kinakausap ko. Tapos sabi niya na parang, pwede mong kausapin yan si Brio, yung secretary natin, and si Alex, STEM representative natin for 119. Kasi sila Alex daw yung nagsimula ng isang event for ADT, yung Paraluman. Paraluman, it was started from before pa, nung 118 pa. Tapos parang inulit-ulit na lang siya. Tapos ayun, gumawa na pala sila ng proposal. Ayun sila ng proposal for Paraluman. It was originally a workshop siya, pero inedit ko ng onte siya. So anyway, ayun nga, mag-isa pa lang ako. Wala pa si Mika nung time na yun. So parang medyo na-overwhelm ako. Kaya I think I've never told this sa kay Ju, pero like sobrang naging thankful talaga ako na ayun, dumating si Mika. At least parang hindi na ako masyadong natakot na buksan yung Google Docs ng project proposal. Kahit yun lang na-overcome ko ever since na dumating si Mika. I mean, don't get me wrong, babalikan ko naman siya, pero I still get like that anxious feeling of opening it, of starting it. Kasi yun nga, first time lang, ganyan, and di ko pa masyadong nakakapa kung paano like mag-operate sa student council. So, nung dumating na si Mika, mas naging na ako like, relieved and like, okay, let's go, let's work this with Mika, ayan. Kasi nga, yung ko rin, ever since I moved to DLSU, parang mas gusto ko nang makipag-collaborate with people. Mas, yun nga rin yung ko, diba? Collaboration, yung lagi kong sinasabi sa campaign ko. Kaya, ayun, nung dumating na si Mika, mas naging okay na ako to work and kasi may kasama na ako. Tapos, ayun, nung nalaman namin na mag-merge na rin with HUMSS Month, around January, 'di ba? Kasi bigla tayo nagkaroon ng 1 month break sa February, kaya mag-merge na daw siya because of time constraints din. Sobrang natuwa ako na nakasama ko na rin sila Ju, sila Rafi, kasi wala lang, parang I'd still get that overwhelming feeling na parang, oh no, will ADT Month be a success, ganyan. Parang at least ngayon na parang we're working as a group, mas na-feel ko yung camaraderie, yung value natin as Lasalyans of Communion and Mission, like what Mika had mentioned. Mas na-feel ko siya and hindi na ako I got less scared of pushing through with the event, with the proposal, ganyan, and mas naging confident ako to talk to mga speakers, ganyan, sa paghanap ng mga speakers, talk to student committee members and yung ibang SC officers. Mas naging confident na rin ako magsulat ng mga email reply, ganyan, sa mga like mga admins, ganyan, and mga higher ups. And yeah, yun lang naman yung preparations ko. Agree rin ako with Rafi na yun nga yung hindi nakikita ng most people, na parang yung mental talaga and like social preparation, psychological. It really drains you if like mag-isa ka lang tapos parang sinosolo mo lang yung mga problema mo, na parang, oh my God, may proposal pala akong, ay may document pala ako na kailangan gawin. Hala, kailangan ko tong gawin para sa kanila, kana Rafi, kana Ju, and Mika, ganyan. Pero like, if hindi mo na kaya, if hindi talaga kaya ng time, ganyan, okay naman na magsabi. Yun yung important, yun yung pinaka-importante na nagsasabi ka na, guys, kasi may nangyayari ngayon sa bahay, ganyan. I really need you guys. I really need your help, guys, kasi di ko siya magawa ngayon. It's important that you don't invalidate yourself. You don't invalidate yung kung anong pinagdadaanan mo ngayon. Kasi in the end, ikaw lang din naman mahirapan pag hindi ka nagsasabi. Tapos, which will also lead to all of you in the group na mahihirapan kasi hindi ka pala nagsasabi may pinagdadaanan ka, hindi ka nila natulungan, hindi kayo umusad dun sa progress nyo. Kaya I'm just really, really glad na naging HUMSS ADT Month siya, and I can say naman siguro na a lot of the students in DLSU nag-enjoy rin. Like, sobrang nag-enjoy din ako sa activities ng HUMSS and sa ADT, and comments from my friends, from other people na nag-enjoy naman din sila, and working with student committee rin, nakakamiss to work with them kasi sobrang saya, and sa kabila ng lahat na kasiyahan na yun, ayun, may pagka seriousness pa rin, like alam namin kung kailan kailangan maging seryoso, ganyan, and yeah, that's what I really, really appreciate about preparations for HUMSS and ADT Month. Yeah, yun lang.
Ayun, Bernice, that's a great sentiment talaga, di ba? Na first, no one starts off excellent, di ba? And that we always have people around us to help. And with that, gaya nga nang nabanggit mo na nag-enjoy naman yung mga ating fellow batchmates, and kayo rin mismo, nag-enjoy kayo sa event na nangyari. So if I may ask, if you were given a chance to rate the event from 1 being the lowest and 10 as the highest, what would you give your event, and ano yung naging favorite part nyo? So, Mika, let's start with you.
Okay, so overall, I medyo biased lol. Pero I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Siguro the minus lang is because I guess like on my part I could have done more, and I could have like helped suggest a few more like tweaks here and there, kasi we ran into a few obstacles, especially with likha and magbahagi. Pero I think like it was a really good event, and it could have been better had we planned for it more, and had we like had a backup plan for it, because there were some technicalities na hindi namin, like, we didn't consider it the first time. Pero when that technicality came, we were like, oh no, okay, let's just figure this out. And overall naman, events were really like spot on, and my favorite talaga would definitely be Paraluman, because Paraluman was so inspiring, because you see these artists of different ages and different styles, and they have so many different insights. And when I got to talk to the speakers like after and before the event, parang you could tell na they were able to learn something not just from themselves but also from each other, and they were able to like learn a lesson. Like I remember Paula Benjamin and Miss Pauline, they were the speakers for music in the second day of Paraluman, and they were mentioning how they learned so much from each other on their perspective, because while they're both in music, they were on 2 different genres, because Miss Pauline is from the classical side, and of course Paula Benjamin is in the indie pop culture. And like Paraluman was so inspiring then as a visual artist, because the day one I got to see Mr. Jerry Gracia talk, and like Shigeyo Hasumi, and like all the other speakers, and they gave me more motivation to be a better artist on my own, and as well as a student leader, because their way of speaking wasn't just about art, but it was also somehow tied to the issues of society today. And like it was very insightful in a way na art isn't just something that you do to express yourself, but it's also a reflection of society and your opinions of it. So it was really insightful, and Paraluman was overall like, it's still my favorite until now, and I hope that in the future in the future, there's still a paraluman. So, yeah.
Yan, thank you so much, Mika. Para sa'yo, Julian, anong rating ang ibibigay mo sa HUMSS X ADT event at anong naging pinaka-paborito mong part?
Yung sa rating ko, halos same lang din. 9/10 lang talaga. Kasi, pa-humble, char. Pero yun, 9/10 kasi di rin naman talaga siya perfect. Kasi I don't think na meron din talaga magiging completely perfect na project. Pero 9/10 in terms of the perfection, technicality stuff. Pero in terms of my experience talaga, as in yung individual experience ko, grabe, I'd give it a 1,000/10. Kasi talagang you can't really match the happiness I felt during that month, during March. Kasi although taxing nga, although tiring, ganun. Pero yung tipo na sunod-sunod yung mga events, tapos it's in things that you actually want to learn about and things that you actually really care about, matters that are close to your heart. Parang feeling ko na sobrang saya talaga nung month na yun for me. Kasi una-una yung sa paraluman. Ito rin, I can't really choose din a favorite event. Kasi talagang nagustuhan ko talaga lahat. Kasi yung sa paraluman, talagang filled ako with appreciation for the arts after that event. Kasi talagang ang ganda nung parang nung after the event, nakikita mo talaga sa all of the speakers na they were able to learn something not just from themselves, pero talagang sa co-speakers nila, sa co-panelists nila. And feeling ko parang ang ganda lang talaga nun kasi we never really expected nung pinaplan ng mga ADT reps, parang inisip lang namin na, lang yan, parang panel discussion lang, ganun. Pero talagang it became so much more than that, na naging two-way learning system siya. Kumbaga, na yung students natuto from the speakers, tapos yung speakers natuto from each other. So, ang ganda nung dynamic na yon. And then, after that naman, yung sa Humalubilo, na parang it's very, very welcoming siya sa HUMSS students. Kaya natuwa ako kasi very, like, accommodating yung HUMSS. Like, hindi sila yung tipong, na, sige, join lang tayo, tapos parang di sila naging active. Talagang na-surprise kami ni Rafi kasi, ang daming nag-support sa event namin na yun, which is very, talagang natuwa kami kasi at least, diba, alam namin na may pakialam yung student body sa amin, na gusto nilang mag-attend sa mga events namin. And then next naman, yung sa Radical, naman yung kay, Professor Nestor, tsaka yung Miss Shari. Tapos yung sa Radical naman, sobrang eye-opening din siya in terms of the different fields in HUMSS na parang feeling namin overlooked. Lalo na sa anthropology, as bilang na anthropology is one of the fields I've recently been getting into. Kasi parang may mga friends ako na very interested in anthropology. Tapos parang na-realize ko na, ang ganda pala niya na field, ganun. Tapos sa Filipino Struggles Week, na yung dati pa naman talaga ay kina Jason dapat yun. Like last year dapat siya na project. Tapos nakuha ko lang siya from Jason tsaka kina Kuya Carwin na like week-long event siya. Tapos parang sobrang nakakapagod. Like, oh my God, iba yung pagod ko nung time na yun. Pero to hear the stories from the masses themselves, to hear their experiences, tsaka to know kung ano ba talaga yung pinagdadaanan nila. Tsaka to be able to bridge them to bridge those struggles to the students, parang unmatched din yung experience na yun. Kasi nga, you have the female peasant farmers talking about how they could barely earn for what they need in their everyday lives. Tapos you have the workers talking about their struggles and yung hirap ng pagtatrabaho bilang isang manggagawa sa gitna ng pandemya. Tapos yung LGBTQ plus members in the community talking about their own struggles, being a part of the community in a society that is still discriminative of them. Tapos yung sa IPs na tahasan silang i-intimidate talaga ng estado, to be able to listen to their experiences and to be able to have them share the experiences to the students na galing talaga sa kanila. Parang it's really, it's important in a sense na namumulat nga yung mga estudyante. And then yung sa Alpas naman, yung sa yung pag, like na bridge mo, like hindi na bridge, pero nagkaroon ng workshop na yun sa Alpas. Tapos parang to see the students feeling validated kasi andun yung mga gusto nilang gawin in the future. Yun, parang nakakatuwa talaga. Kaya I can't really choose din my favorite kasi lahat talaga, parang feeling ko all of the events complemented each other really well. And ayun, tuwa talaga ako kasi it was really an experience na feeling ko na hopefully na satisfy namin yung student body.
Ayun, thank you so much, Julia, no? So, dalawa na ang ating 9 out of 10. Si Bernice ba ang magbibigay ng 10 out of 10 para sa event nila? Bernice, how about you?
Actually, same lang din ako with my representatives. 9 out of 10 lang din. Pa-humble eh. Pero 9 out of 10 kasi agree ako na it's been a really good event talaga and dun talaga natin makikita. And actually, when we were planning rin, dun ko na-realize na lahat ng fields, kung ano man yan, kahit science man yan or humanities and all the different fields are always gonna be connected. They're always gonna be connected with each other. Tapos, yun nga rin, nung nagpaplano for Paraluman, when we were making the questions kami ni Mika, we didn't really know what to expect. Parang feeling, well, for me personally, parang feeling ko na, okay na ba tong questions na to? Baka walang masyadong mapag-usapan. But then, nung mismong event na parang dun ko lang na-realize na parang, wow, ang galing ng mga speakers, ang galing talaga nila. Well, of course, magaling sila, syempre. Binackground check namin yan sila. Syempre, magaling sila. Pero, doon ko lang nakita talaga like yung interconnectedness of everything. Of like, yun nga, na yung isang sinabi ni Sir Jerry na parang yung art daw, binabasag niya yung, may sinabi siya na, na it really stuck with me. But now I can't remember, I don't know why. Yung sinabi niya na, binabasag ng sining ang kung ano man yung nangyayari sa lipunan. Like, well, in my understanding, art is a reflection of whatever is happening in the society you belong to. And like, doon ko lang na-realize na everything is interconnected. So, and with all the events that happened, I'm so thankful for everything, for FSW, for Radical, and sana nga, naging open yung Humalubilo eh. Chos. Naging open sa lahat ng stands. But anyway, actually, that was a plan nga rin ni Rafi before. Pero before HUMSS ADT, diba Rafi, parang plano mo na gawin siyang lahat ng stands. Pero ayun, time constraints, hindi rin siya nakayanan. Kaya naging for HUMSS na lang siya. And for FSW and for Alpas, for Likha and for Magbahagi, super thankful. I don't think I can also choose like a favorite. Pero I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 kasi yun nga, there's always gonna be like, you know, points na to improve on, ganyan. And to be honest, parang nabilasan ako sa March. Parang bilis niyang natapos. Di ko na, parang hindi mo namamalayan na tapos na pala yung event na to. Parang hindi pa nag-sink in sa akin na, tapos na pala yung Paraluman, tapos na pala yung FSW, Radical, Humalubilo, and Alpas. Like, lang, parang, what? Hindi ko pa na-process ng sobra. Pero, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Kahit na, you know, there were obstacles na nadaanan namin. Pero, I'm really satisfied with how we executed it. Along with yung iba naming members sa student council, especially support ng buong DLSU community. Tayo 119 and 120. Sobrang support sa HUMSS and ADT Month, and I'm just so humbled by it. So thankful for all the support. Kaya yun, I really can't choose a favorite event kasi sobrang naging successful sila lahat.
Thank you, Bernice. And last but not the least, Rafi.
Siyempre, mas pa-humble ako. Joke lang. Professionally, I would rate it an 8 out of 10. Pero as a student, parang siguro hindi sasapat yung 1 billion. So, utang ng Pilipinas sa ibang bansa out of 10. Kasi, sige, explain ko muna yung 8 kasi baka sabihin nyo, ako gumawa ng project 8 lang. Yung 8, hindi siya more of parang imperfection, if that's what you would call it. But for me, it's more of yung panghihinayang ko. Kasi every program was nice. Every program had its own uniqueness. Every program had its own strengths, its own objectives that I believe would be more than beneficial to the student body. Kaya ako binigay ng 8 aside sa sinabi ng ibang reps na of course there were bound to be imperfections, rooms for improvement, kumbaga. Nanghihinayang ako kasi it went beyond my expectations, but I believe that it could have reached more people. It could have opened the minds of more students. It could have been a grander perspective, a grander event kung face-to-face lang sana. Pero dahil nga sinabi kong as a student, utang ng Pilipinas sa ibang bansa out of 10, kasi mula preparations pa lang, we started preparing January before finals week. So hanggang ngayon, actually nagpe-prepare pa rin kami, nagpa-process pa din kami. Aside sa efforts na pinut in, hindi lang ako but others, strand reps with me and my fellow officers, my student committee, HUMSS Central Committee, ADT Committee, I see na it cannot be confined with the rating. Kasi everyone did their best, everyone exerted their best, and everyone poured their heart and soul and passion sa mga ginagawa. And I wouldn't say HUMSS Month has ended kasi meron pang katha, so promote, sali kayo ng katha. Pero aside from that, I think that HUMSS and ADT Month went beyond my expectations. Parang kumbaga si Buzz Lightyear, to infinity and beyond. Kasi katulad ng sinabi ni Ate Ju, so ito na yung slide sa program. Wala akong masasabing favorite na program kasi like what Ate Ju said and what I said earlier, every program has its own strength. So siguro sabihin ko na lang yung favorites ko per program. Siguro kasi as I said earlier, as a first-time officer, I really had low expectations. Lalo sa mga project ko. Kasi medyo wala akong self-esteem na tao. So like, naunahan ako ng negative kong mindset na, ay shucks, parang webinar na naman, seminar na naman, ang boring na naman neto. I didn't expect people to attend at all. Parang naisip ko na, siguro ibang obligahin ko lang, ibang susuhulak lang, onti-onti kayo, dali, para clear skin kayo. But, I saw the participation, I saw the eagerness of the students who attended. So it was really beyond of what I foresaw that would happen to all of the events. So, umpisahan natin sa Paraluman. Syempre, na-excite kami na nakita ko Ben and Ben. Alam ni Ate Prince, nung nag-reply yung Ben and Ben, parang doon pa lang, iba to. Pero, seeing the speakers, si Jerry Gracia, si Sitan Sam, si Paolo, and everyone, and every professional who attended who became our panelists, it opened doors for me. Kasi, aminin ko before, I saw arts as a form of expression, a form of more than art. It was a craft, a profession. Pero knowing what more arts can offer, parang it is not only confined pala to people making masterpieces. It is something that people can use as a medium of expressing not only themselves, but also expressing for the people who cannot express themselves. So, dun pa lang sa Paraluman, I actually learned more, not only about humanities, but also the arts. Tapos, came Malubilo. Itong project na to, dahil nga HUMSS exclusive lang siya. Exclusive. Medyo hindi ko in-expect yung rapport na ibibigay ng HUMSS. Like what Ate Ju said, I didn't really expect the support and parang tama doon? Sorry, nabe-brain rot na ako. Yung tipong engagement na makuha ko from the people, hindi ko ina-expect na ganun pala karami magpa-participate, na kahit pala exclusive lang siya for HUMSS, sobrang interactive niya pala. akala ko magiging tahimik lang siya na meeting, but then people didn't fail to amaze me. HUMSS really stepped up and, made the event a bigger success that I would ever imagine. Then came Radical. So Radical, fun fact na pala, yung Humalubilo and Radical, I only had about less than a week to prepare since due to time constraints nga. Pero it came through, and seeing, hearing, and knowing na people were eager. People actually wanted. People, more than the obligatory, kailangan ko umattend kasi program to, kasi Stucom ako, kailangan ko umattend. People from outside of Stucom, SC, Kaanib, and ADT people really wanted and were curious about what Radical had to offer. Si Prof. Nestor, hindi ko alam, namin niya palang fan sa Lasal. And knowing that people were really excited to know more about ethnography, anthropology, even though it's like an overseen topic talaga in humanities. And Miss Shari, who taught us to be more open and to how to properly channel being socially proactive. Tama si Ate Bernice, even outside Lasal, there were countless requests kung pwede bang i-open to public, kung pwede bang and that actually fills my heart. Sobrang wow! Napagano na lang ako na a lot of people pala were really interested in what HUMSS and ADT had to offer. So, dasenti ako that time, and dun pala nakita ko na, HUMSS and ADT Month really had more to offer than what I ever could have imagined. Then, came FSW. FSW, siguro yun yung matuturing ko na pinaka peak, I guess, ng HUMSS Month. HUMSS, sa ADT kasi I would consider paraluman, but for HUMSS Month, it would be FSW, kasi doon ko mismo nakita, kumbaga hindi lang siya teorya, hindi lang siya research, hindi lang siya yung napag-aralan mo sa 4 na silid ng paaralan mo. Nakakausap mo mismo yung mga taong nagsa-struggle, kaya nga struggles week, nakakausap mo mismo yung mga taong nakakadanas ng problemang pinamulat ko ng Radical. Pinamulat ng speakers ng Radical. Parang naging interconnected siya. So, doon ko nakita yung synthesis ba ng HUMSS and ADT Month so far. So, from Paraluman, teaching you how to express, Radical teaching you how to be active, and FSW teaching you what is the struggle talaga. What is the main struggle of everyone. So, doon pa lang, sabi ko na, oh wow, sobrang dami ng substance. Nag-uumapaw na sa objectives, nag-uumapaw na sa benefits tong ADT Month. Then came Likha, in which I saw the expression of the people themselves. Nung nakita ko yung prompts for Likha, sabi hari, kayamanan, as a non-creative person, naisip ko, may magdodrawing lang kaya ng king, may magdodrawing lang kaya ng coins for treasure. But then I saw the interpretation of the artist of Lasal. Sorry, ingay ng aso ko. Pero I saw the interpretations that our Lasalyan artists gave, yung tipong hari, then na-connect nila sa social injustices na nakita ng bansa. That sana natutunan nila from FSW and Radical. Pero nakita doon, na-express nila yung pangangailangan ng mga tao sa pandemya na nakakulong sa bahay, na wala gaanong interaction sa lipunan like what we are used to. Pero natuwa ako that it all came together. Kahit iba-iba siya ng objectives, iba-iba siya ng goal, it all came together. So, wala nga akong favorites, but I think yung buong month talaga yung magiging favorite ko. So, ayun. Alpas pala, nakalimutan ko sabihin, no? But Alpas is just like the icing on top of the cupcake. Kasi, cupcake talaga para cute. Kasi, naisip ko na, yes, they need to be interconnected, how to be socially relevant, etc., how to be like the citizen, the active citizen that we should all be. Alpas gave a breather na kahit isa kang estudyanteng dapat mahibaka para sa lipunan na gagalawan mo sa future, kailangan mo rin tuunan ng atensyon ng sarili mo na more than the people you should serve, you should know the path or the career you should take to serve those people. So, ayun lang. Kaya siya utang ng Pilipinas sa ibang bansa out of 10 kasi I believe that it served more than its objectives and it gave more than what we actually foresaw it to be. So, ayun lang.
Ooh, wow.
Partner!
Nainis na ako sa Zoom, ha? Kanina ka pa nag-mute sa akin. Mukhang sabi niya, may ingay daw ako, nagsawa na eh. Bumabawi sa akin to, nainis ako. Pero sige to, okay. Anyway, yung sinasabi ko kanina ulit, nag-mute ba? Hindi, okay na. So, gusto ko sabihin kanina, so far, lahat ng mga sinasabi ng guests, kailangan ko na mag-English. I'm impressed. Okay? Ngayon, sa mga sinasabi niyo, ito yung mga tumatak sa akin. Gusto ko yung part rin na sinabi ni Julian na yung pinag-usapan niya yung leadership. And then kay Rafi, breaking barriers. Kay Mika, representing something bigger than yourself. Kay Bernice, being open about your problems. And gusto ko ulit umano kay Mika. Meron siya sinabi na quote. I don't know if maalala mo yung sinabi mong quote ito, pero gusto ko itong sinabi mo na ito. And gusto ko na i-add na napakaganda na sinabi mo. I'm super impressed na sinabi mo na ito. Sabi mo, art is not just a reflection of yourself, but of society as well. And, I did not expect this to come from us lang sa mga kabatch natin kasi usually mga nababasa ko to sa mga books, yung mga realization ng mga iba't ibang mga experts na rin. For you to say that, wow, I just have to gusto ko lang yan compliment yun. Anyway, Rosa, kanina pala thank you sa pag-point out na nakamute ako kasi kanina baka may nag-ano na ako, wala nang sayang eh. So anyway, gusto ko yung medyo nagsesegue ni usapan natin patungkol sa politics kasi ito yung next question ko. More dito sa part na ano ba yung masasabi ninyo sa sitwasyon ng politika at sining sa Pilipinas? And sa tingin niyo ba, meron kayang connection ba ang politics at sining? So, para sa tanong na to, siguro simulan natin kay Bernice.
Yes, I definitely think so na may connection ang politics tsaka ang art. Kasi yun naman talaga actually. Na pag-usapan din sa Paraluman before na nagiging trend na rin siya sa mga artists na kung ano mang ginagawa nila na expression sa kung mapa-painting or poster or dance or theater man yan, kahit anong klase ng sining yan, it's always gonna be related nga sa kung saan ka ngayon, kung saan ka yung society mo ngayon. So there's always gonna be politics included in there. There's always gonna be everything included in there kasi like I've mentioned earlier and everything is interconnected. Everything, lahat, it's always like a cause and effect na nangyayari. Like siguro kanyari, ang huling El Bimbo, di ba? Ayan, sining, ang daming naggusto dyan sa ang huling El Bimbo. Pero di ba, kung maalala natin, it talks about really deep themes like yung portrayal sa women and yung mga, am I allowed to mention it, like cases of rape among women and like yun yung mga tinakil dun sa sining na yun sa theater, diba? So I really think na it's connected. Yeah, for sure politics and art are interconnected lagi. Yeah.
Thank you, Bernice. Ngayon, gusto ko lang rin pa i-follow up sa'yo, Bernice. Dahil nga alam ko yung art mo is dancing, paano yung proseso sa pagre-represent ng mga ganitong klaseng mga social issues through your dance?
Actually, sa workshop namin sa dance this year, isa siya sa mga, this year kasi sa grade 12, inaaral namin kung paano gumawa ng mga choreographies. Tapos isa siya sa mga assignments ko for dance na pumili daw ng isang social issue, ganyan. Tapos gawa natin ng choreography. So syempre, di naman pwede na dire-diretso lang. Pinagawan muna kami ng essay, pinag-research muna kami, and yung napili kong issue na gustong gawan ng choreography is yung red tagging. During that time kasi yun yung mas naging mainit yung issue nila Liza Soberano tsaka si Parla de, diba? ayun. So, yun yung ginawan ko ng choreography kasi yun yung mas naging close rin sa heart ko na issue about red tagging. Kasi ewan, ako kasi yung tipong tao na parang I can't stand like watching people be treated like this. Naapektuhan talaga ako. Like minsan napapaisip ako na parang like hindi ako makakontinue sa school or sa kung ano mang ginagawa ko kasi pinag-iisipan ko talaga sila na parang kaya sobrang nainis ako like from that sobrang inis, sobrang galit, na sobrang dismaya. Dun lumabas yung inspiration ko na gumawa ng choreography. And ganun din siya actually in most choreographers. You get this idea, you get this picture in your head from your interactions with the world, and then that's how you get inspired. That's how you create choreographies for people, and then hopefully may mga matututunan yung mga nanonood, may mga discussions sa mga form, and yeah, that's how we do it. Na research talaga muna kasi ang pangit naman na gumagawa ka ng sining tapos wala ka namang pinanghuhugutan, ganun. Ang babaw lang, kumbaga, ang pangit ng ganun. Kaya dapat talaga mas maalam tayo sa nangyayari bago gumawa.
Thank you very much, Bernice. Ngayon, gusto ko nang pala i-add. I think, even though, di ba, originally from the start, ang plano daw, ADT may sariling month, HUMSS, etc., lahat ng strands. And I think, yung combination ng HUMSS at ADT, I think magandang combination siya. Kumbaga parang sa burger, parang patty, and then yung ano pang condiments, di ko na maalala yung ingredients, di ako chef. Anyway, kasi ang nakikita ko, ang understanding ko sa HUMSS, di ba, sa social sciences, and then ang art, in a way, it's also social through representing through your very own art form. So yun, gusto ko lang mag-comment sa part yun. Anyway, gusto ko lang, same question rin, dadalhin ko naman kay Julian. Anong masasabi mo sa sitwasyon ng politika at sining sa Pilipinas ngayon? And ano ang connection ba nila sa isa't isa, if ever meron? Or ano pa iba mong thoughts? Yeah.
Okay. Pili ko mahaba or marami akong masasabi. I apologize in advance. Pero at the very least, yung best sentence to describe it is that art in all forms is political. We will never, di talaga natin matatanggal yung art, yung politicality or politicalness. Basta yun, yung politics from art. Sabihin na natin na kunwari nag-drawing ako ng kunwari, ito, perfect example was si Fernando Amorsolo. Sorry, nadaldaling ko talaga to. Pero kunwari si Fernando Amorsolo. So ang ganda ng art niya, 'di ba? Sobrang ganda ng depiction niya sa countryside living. Pero during that time, pinapatay yung mga magkasaka. During that time, kina-crackdown na ng kalibapi yung Hukbalahap, which is made up of mostly of farmers din. So isipin natin, bakit ang ganda naman ng depiction ni Fernando Amorsolo sa mga kababaihan pa, tsaka sa countryside living during a time na pinapatay sila. So makikita kaagad natin na it's a discussion of politics, na you have this privilege to be able to paint these Filipinos in such a warm and loving gaze, pero in the sense parang ini-ignore mo yung true conditions nila, na pinapatay na nga sila pinapatay sila, pinag-iinitan sila ng Japanese nung time na yon, pero you still chose to paint them in this view na parang perfect yung buhay nila, which is wrong. Isa pa, yung kay Solen Heussaff, na yung parang ginagamit niya as backdrop lang yung poverty-stricken households, tapos naka-center pa doon yung artwork niya, tapos sinasabi niya na she's bringing awareness to poverty daw. Pero it still boils down to the fact na kapag gumagawa ka ng art, syempre, especially as someone na hindi naman parte ng masa na pinagagagawan, na parte ng masa na yung gusto mong i-uplift sa sining mo, are you really nilulubog mo ba talaga sarili mo sa masa? Kung kung gusto mo nga sila i-represent sa art mo. I think yun talaga yung dapat na pinag-uusapan natin when it comes to art being political. Kasi even if we say na it's just art, kumbaga, hindi naman talaga yan basta art lang. Yun nga, katulad nga ng sinabi ni na Bernice, na art will always be a reflection of the current society that we have. Kung maging maging artwork man yan na painting, maging artwork man yan na sayaw, maging artwork man yan na kanta, which is very, isang mainit din na usapin yan, na yung mga ginagawa na kanta na very political din yan, kung pwede ba natin ihiwalay yung problematic artists from their art. Asa pa yung discussion about art being political. Pero at the end of the day, hindi talaga natin masabi na art isn't political. Even the fact na you are able to do art without feeling the fact that you can even do art na hindi lang na parang hindi ka nagsa-sacrifice ng masyadong marami sa buhay mo. Na the fact na you are privileged enough to take up art na nabibigay na sa'yo yung mga materials na kailangan mo. Kasi alam naman natin lahat, hindi talaga biro yung art as a hobby or as a job, kasi mahal yung mga gamit natin. So the mere fact na you are privileged enough to be able to afford art materials, art supplies, political na kagad yun. Meron na kagad yung bahid ng pagiging political kasi sa social class mo, you're able to afford it. Meanwhile, ang daming mga artists na talagang na-embody talaga nila yung starving artists talaga. Hindi naman sa ginusto nila yun. Pero yun talaga yung binibigay sa kanila ng current society. Yun yung, they were born with that social class. And although kahit nasabihin natin, tinatry nilang bumangon doon, hindi talaga siya ganun kadali. So, yung mismong pagiging isang artist mo in this political society na you're still defined by your social class, that in itself is still proving the fact na art is definitely political.
Ayun, hindi na ako nakamute, Rosa, no? Okay, sige. Making sure lang. Anyway, thank you dun, Julian. And meron ka na mention about sa history, which strikes me as you might be a history buff, I think. So, gusto ko lang bigyan kita ng follow-up question. I think tama ako dun. So, gusto ko lang itanong sa iyo, what is the importance of knowing history para mas ma-improve pa yung society natin? Ano ba yung importance ng history and that? Ayun.
Before pa mag-college decisions, I was decided na mag-history ako. Which is, kaya tama talaga na history buff ako. Pero, hindi naman in the sense na alam ko talaga lahat. More in the sense na I want to learn more. Kasi, isa rin tumatak sa akin as someone who is really fond of history. Yung sinabi dati ng advisor ko, si Sir Yancy, na parang history is not just really learning about dates or learning about certain events, pero it is all encompassing to how history shapes you as an individual and how history shapes society. And I also read this somewhere na parang if you learn about history and you're only happy, then I think you're learning the wrong history. Kasi talagang history is meant to make you uncomfortable, and it's meant to make you know na itong piece ng history, hindi lang to bastang binababasa lang natin. Talagang people have lived through this. And I can even say right now na we are living through a historical moment na naman dahil nasa pandemic tayo. Now we're in lockdown for so long, and government responses very incompetent. And yung mismo historical event na yun, Tapos, ayun, yun nga, because of these historical events, parang we get this kind of understanding na dapat itong historical event na to, hindi dapat, kapag negative siya, dapat we learn from it. Na hindi lang, kumbaga na, okay, nangyari to, tapos we have this feeling na mangyayari siya ulit. Dapat we do all we can to prevent it already. Kasi alam na natin parang kumbaga mga steps yan towards another dictatorship, towards another abusive regime, ganun. So, dapat alam na kagad natin na hindi lang talaga siya events or dates, na hindi lang siya magpag-memorize, pero talagang nasa puso natin yung kasaysayan, lalo na kapag kasaysayan ng bansa natin. Kasi, nagiging talaga siya, yung kasaysayan ng bansa natin, hindi siya parang, hindi mga isolated cases lang yung history natin. Ito rin, isang concept din of history na I really appreciate, which is the long durée. Na you look at things at the longer view, at longer perspective, longer run. Na hindi lang nga siya, kunwari, nangyari yung isang world war, tapos after that, wala na, okay na, tapos na, may bago na namang war, tapos isolated na yon. Hindi siya ganun lang. Talagang, it's a series of events na yung tipong series of events na hindi lang siya hiwa-hiwalay. Talagang magkaka-relate talaga yung lahat. Kaya sana gamitin natin yung history to be able, yung history na we know of, to be able to first, to be able to read more and to know kung ano ba talaga yung historical revisionism. Tapos to be able to also look at the current happenings, the current events that we have right now and know kagad, or hindi man know kagad, pero to be able to be aware or to be able to be critical citizens na mukhang meron itong tao, mukhang itong leader may bahid ng tyranny, ganun, may bahid siya ng pagiging abusive, ganun. Dapat inaano na kagad natin, dapat naging critical thinkers tayo with regards to history talaga.
Wow, Julian, to be honest, marami kang na-mention about sa history na, kasi ako rin personally, I do like history din. I love na using it as mga foundation for things that are happening and a lot more sa knowledge. Although, as much as na gusto ko pang pag-usapan, I think that could be a podcast for another time and I'd be very interested to have that conversation with you. Anyway, sige, thank you. We'll move on to Rafi. Yun. So, Rafi, same question lang naman, Ben, is ano bang masasabi mo sa sitwasyon ng politika at sining sa Pilipinas and ano ba yung correlation nila, if ever meron ba? What's your thoughts about it?
Siguro isa supplemento na lang yung thoughts na binigay ni Ate Burns and ni Ate Chu. Pero I would want to revert the question a bit. So, Ate Chu said, is all the art political? So, I would ask, is politics really considered an art? So, kasi a lot of people would think politics, kung hindi man polsa yung una nilang maisip, it would be mga trapo, mga corrupt, mga those things, but a lot of people still don't know, and also a lot of people spread the information that everything is indeed political. So medyo wala siya kinalaman sa ipo-point out ko sa thoughts ko about the politics and the art condition and the correlation, but I would want to start with pointing out that everything is political. So from the way you influence others, that is political. The way you tell, kunwari, personal example, si Rafi nakipag-away kay Jasmine na burger ng McDo o burger ng Jollibee. Tapos sabihin ni Jasmine, burger ng Jollibee kahit si Rafi gusto niya ng burger ng McDo. That debate in itself is political. When you are in the dining table, sinong unang kukuha ng ulam? Yung nanay mo, tatay mo, ikaw, o kapatid mo, o aso mo. That itself is political. And a lot of people really won't see the art in it. I mean, based on that explanation, you could argue with me that, that's just a series of debates. That's just a series of order, rules, ganyan. But I believe that those little conversations, those little moments, those daily things that we have in life, that is art. Politics is an art to influence. Art to persuade, whether in a charismatic way or in a way that would force you to use bribery or hard forces, ika nga sa Polgov. But for me, politics is art in a sense that you are indirectly pushing your own ideals, your own thoughts, your own beliefs into a specific community. Kunwari ako, HUMSS ako. So, I have an authority, more than a power, I have an authority to enforce my thoughts enforce my ideas, enforce my beliefs. And that's just not merely authority, that is art. How would I influence it? I make erdekal, I make humalubilo. I co-create the HUMSS and ADT Month. And that is art. When I give out announcements, when I co-create with my fellow officers plans in order to create better programs, better things for the student community, that is art. And just like art, not every art is a masterpiece. Politics is not always perfect. In fact, it is very flawed, especially in our country. Politics is not really something that is perfect, but we're all aware of that. But I think with the masterpieces like Vico and those officials na matino, those officials na hindi tarapok. I still believe in those government officials na meron talagang sincere intention, na merong sincere na outlook, sincere plans for their constituents. And that in itself is an art that not every politician, not every citizen, unfortunately, can master. Furthering my point, Ate Ju said na art is subject to political interpretation. Katulad nung sinabi niya kay Marso, katulad nung sinabi niya sa mga historical examples. I would also like to point out that political decisions, paggawa ng konstitusyon natin, pag-implement ng batas natin, even up to the political issues that should bother us today, emphasis on should, yung goal natin na dapat mamulat ang mga tao at hindi dapat sila pumikit pagkatapos, that is an art. And I would like to infer na politics can be found even in the simplest, even in the most common circumstances that you see. You should remember that as a person, that you are a person engages in daily politics. Even though lots of people would argue kasi na hindi naman ako politiko, hindi naman ako aktivista, hindi naman ako yung taong sobrang liberal when it comes to my thoughts in politics. But you are a person, you are a citizen of the country, you are a Filipino that would always engage in politics. You should remember that you are also an artist. Not in the context that you would dance, not in the context you would paint, not in the context that you would sing, but you are an artist in the context that you are an influencer. At hindi yung YouTuber na influencer, but you are influencer that would shape, that would mold, and that would be the future that our country would expect from you. So, being the person that creates the future for the future Filipinos that would be born, kahit walang kasiguraduhan ang hinaharap natin, know that you're an artist, not because of your capability, but you are an artist because you are a Filipino that would shape the country's future for the future Filipinos to come. That's all for me.
Wow. I need to gather. Wait lang. Okay, first things that came into mind. I feel like si Rafi. I feel like the future third president of the Philippines is among us, ha? First, okay, anyway, no joke naman yung tawag dun. Kaya ako nasabi yun kasi first of all, impressed ako honestly sa the way na inarticulate mo yung thoughts mo about this question. And yun lang, it strikes me as someone na sobrang talagang well-researched sa ano niya, which is talagang in a way rin passionate na sa craft niya. Which, gusto ko lang rin i-share na nainis ako sa mga tao na yung, especially like, let's say, not to diss naman the old generation stuff, pero meron tayo yung parang culture na bata ka pa, wala. Your thoughts invalid, this and that. I really, as much as na, yun nga, they has an ounce of truth to it, it's still, I don't think it validates the opinion. And yun nga, one of, I think, in my opinion nga, is the way na inarticulate mo, Rafi, I'm impressed, yun lang, gusto I share. I also like to expound more about this, pero yun nga, I think that's also a podcast for another time. With what yun. I thought, honestly kami, nung nagko-comments, kasi meron kami sariling GC ng mga, ng mga, host, parang nag-comment kami, parang, uy, Ay, para tayo na sa lecture. Ang galing niya, Rafi and stuff like that. I respect that. Anyway, I respect that. So anyway, thank you, Rafi. Moving on. Okay. Finally, Mika, are you ready? With the golden mic, with the golden voice. Same question. So, ayun nga, na ano masasabi mo sa sitwasyon ng politika at sining sa Pilipinas and ano bang connection nila sa isa't isa?
Okay, ang dami na lang sinabi. So, I'm gonna try to make this short. Pero, in my opinion kasi, like, everything is political in a way. Not everything is politics, but everything is political. And, hindi naman, I'm not like a super expert in politics, but, because art is such a universal thing. It's seen in every single thing we see every day. Like, yung laptop mo that was made by a designer, it might have been collaborated on with like an engineer, but it was definitely designed by a designer. And like even like every single thing you see around you, there's art, and that can be said the same way with politicians and politics in general. And I think gaya ng anong sinabi ko, art isn't just an expression of yourself, but it's also an expression of society. And everything that society faces has political undertones, and yung political undertones na yun nag-influence din sa atin. And yun nga, for example, we see art in everything, and one thing that you can see art in nowadays is in activism. In activism, people need to get creative. We need to be loud about what we need from the government and from our leaders, because like so much has happened over the course of a year, and we demand more and we deserve better. And with activism and art like together as like a merged entity, we're able to express our opinions and yung mga gusto natin na mangyari sa bansa, and even like universally. And without like art, everything would be so dull. Everything we heed for, everything we fight for would be essentially it would be nothing in a way, but not nothing. But yun, like, kasi politics is such a complicated, layered topic, and it's such an interesting thing to talk about, especially in the context of like sining sa lipunan. And in society nga, there's so many people with different opinions and different beliefs, and that can be expressed through so many things. And like circling back to activism, I think it's a very impactful way of advocating for what's right and for what you want in society. And with art as like a tool or a medium to put that activism forward, it makes it all the more impactful, because people have to listen to you. You're catching everyone's attention, and people are looking at you, and you're like, okay, so I have to make this point, like we deserve better as a community, and we want this, we want that, and they don't have a choice but to look at you because you're being loud about it. And that's the impact of art in like the political side of things, is that it makes you loud, and it makes you hard not to notice. And that's exactly what we need in a society today, especially na, as they mentioned nga, like we don't want history repeating itself. We don't want a dictatorship on the rise. We want to be free. We want to be the people that we are. We're Filipinos, are people of the free land, and we want to be, as we Filipinos want to like stick true to that root. So using art is very powerful. It's a very powerful tool, and it's a very powerful ally in the fight for being better in a society. And politics is politics is ingrained in a lot of things, and art is political. Art is very political. And yun nga, as Ate Bernice said, like from songs or even from artworks or like sculptures we see, like the UP oblation, that's art, and that's a statement, and you can't help but look at it and think like this has to mean something, and it's calling for us to do something. So that's like the effect of art on people. It's never ending, and you're always made to think like, wow, that was so inspiring, like that has a deeper message. And it makes you think. Art is political and it makes you think. So that's how the politics and art like intersect in a way, because with art and politics together, you are creating such a powerful entity into driving change in community and society. So you should never ever let go of art as like an ally, because it's literally there to help you and boost you into fighting for what's right, especially in society's circumstances today.
Well said, Mika. Well said. And gusto ko lang pala bigyan ng follow-up dun sa sagot mo. I mean, rather, follow-up question. Kasi, me as a person rin na knowing a lot of artists rin, from visual to performance, etc. Gusto ko malaman yung paano yung process mo. Okay lang sa'yo i-share mo. Na, yun nga, kapag gagawa ka ng, tsaka kung meron kang ma-share ngayon rin na visual art, okay lang rin, we're open. Baka meron ka dyan sa tabi, meron ako ito. I-explain mo sa amin yung ganun. Pero okay lang kung wala. Gusto ko malaman yung process mo. Paano ba as like you being a visual artist? Paano ba yung proseso? Paano yung simula nung ano yung gagawin ko subject? Ano ba inspiration? Yung mga ganung bagay. Yeah.
My process is like, it like changes every now and then. Kasi nag-experiment pa ako. Pero, kasi I think last term, we had to make like an abstract painting that represented society, like social issues. And one of the things that I chose was police brutality, because at the time, yun yung nag-spark yung pagkamatay ng dalawang mag-ina, because nagalit yung police because of a firework. And I was so mad about that, and I wanted to channel it through my art. Wala siyang nandito ngayon, parang nasa ibang bahay ng lola ko ata, pero it was basically a gun. Trigger warning, it was a gun and then smoke, and there was white and black smoke, because usually kasi I think parang sa ibang culture, white smoke usually symbolizes like a new beginning in a way, and then dark smoke is the forces of evil. And that's basically like, for my interpretation of it, is the police are there to be our guardians, our saviors, and they're supposed to protect us from harm, but then they themselves are the one who's harming us. So parang I wanted to make yung paradox na yun. I wanted to make it emphasized. So I used dark and white smoke for it. And yung process ko dun is, pinag-isipan ko muna like, what do I want to express here? What do I want people to see? Tapos when I think of that subject, I start like thinking of concepts like, okay, what can I use to represent this? What can I use to represent that? And then when I have my symbols and representations or what I want to do, I start playing it out in my head, sketching and everything, and then I put it on to the canvas. But sometimes kahit nga na you plan to do certain things, like you wanted to draw this, sometimes that doesn't push through, and that's okay, because art is free, and ang dami mong pwedeng paglaruan in art, like the techniques or the mediums, and like during the process of putting it on canvas or whatever medium you're gonna put it on, sometimes it changes, and it's perfectly okay, because sometimes yung change na yun is the thing that makes it stand out from the other things you do or other people's work. And accept change and accept mistakes, because sabi nga ni Bob Ross, mistakes are just happy accidents, and I really believe in that, because happy accidents can be the reason like your painting is so revolutionary and amazing. So yun, that's the process that I go through personally with my art.
Ayan, grabe, thank you Mika, no? And Renzo, grabe yung hapon na to, no? Sobrang dami kong natutunan mula sa ating mga guests. And honestly, I take it as an honor to share this conversation, no? To have shared this conversation with Mika, Julian, Bernice, and Rafi. Grabe talaga. And kung may insight ako or takeaway from this podcast, no, it's that arts and politics pala can be related, or related na pala talaga sila, na art can feature contemporary events, contemporary issues, societal issues, and that no matter if we know or if we're conscious about it when we're making art, na we're somehow influenced by politics as well, di ba? So grabe, sobrang ganda nung mga insights na shinare ng ating mga guests, and again, I'm very grateful na pinaunlakan nila yung invitation natin. So ikaw ba, Renzo, anong nakuha mo sa podcast na ito?
Well, Rosa, I'm glad you asked. Thank you. First off, sige, gusto ko muna pasalamatan si Mika, Julian, si Bernice, and si Rafi sa mga shinare nyo. And siguro, insights. At gusto ko yung yung isang particular rin na gusto kong topic, yung na-bring up ni Bernice is yung being open about your weaknesses rin about, kunwari, okay, medyo nahirapan ako ganito. Kasi, oftentimes, ito yung mga bagay na parang nililook down na po na you're just weak. Mahina ka lang. Parang may gunong Ako personally, coming from an all-boys school na parang pinaprioritize yung parang yung manliness. Okay, sige, wala yan. I think maganda na share ni Bernice. And I think yun nga, another conversation that we can talk about. I wish this podcast could last 5 hours, 10 hours because I feel like marami pa kayong masasabi. I like yung mga insights nyo. I actually, personally, marami rin ako natutunan. And yun nga, thank you sa inyo. And ayun yung akin, Rosa.
Ayan, so again, thank you so much sa ating mga guests. And sa mga nanood sa atin ngayong hapon, I'm sure na marami rin kayong natutunan mula sa podcast na ito. And muli ako si Rosa Landitro.
At ako naman si Lorenzo Buenafe mula sa ADT 12A. Sinasabi sa lahat na mag-ingat, maghugas ng pinggan, maghugas ng kamay, mag-social distancing, at manatiling alisto. Maghugas rin kayo ng pinggan kasi mag-guide yung maghugas. Ako rin pinaghugas na ako. Mag-ingat kayo. No, joke Mag-ingat kayo. Bernice, continue dancing. Dance the night away. Dancing with the star. Julian, with your history, enlighten us. Rafi, future third woman president of Philippines. Kaya ako sinabi third president kanina. Nag-comment siya, ba't third president? Nakailang president tayo? Hindi, third woman president. Nakalimutan ko. Kasi Mika, with your wisdom sa yung mga na-bring up rin ako, and then your visual art, continue. Let's keep on going. Hope you have another opportunity for everyone to have another episode of this podcast. Hopefully, another topic rin. Pero, ayun, thank you. Thank you sa lahat. Rosa, baka may ka rin, may mga final messages ka sa kanila.
Wala naman na, gusto ko lang mag-thank you na sinamahan nyo kami hanggang dulo kahit ilang beses na disconnect or namatay yung mic ni Boo nang hindi niya alam. So, ayun, maraming salamat and see you guys next podcast.